What's up, guys? Today we're going to be comparing the Pixel 7 Pro versus the Pixel 8 Pro. So I've gotten a lot of questions about this. Is this worth the upgrade, coming from the 7 Pro? And I think it's kind of a tough sell. There are some things that I definitely like about the Pixel 8 Pro, but is it enough? Even with the trade-in, the Pixel 8 Pro is $1,000, so you're still going to pay a little bit of money to get this phone. So let's go ahead and just start off with the hardware. So one of the things that Google did this year was that they added a matte finish on the Pixel 8 Pro, which is really nice. Now I didn't have an issue with fingerprints since this is a white version, but on the say for the blue colors and stuff like that, or black where you can easily see fingerprints, I like the move to the matte finish for sure. Now they pretty much look identical when it comes to design. You can see it's a slight difference in terms of the camera, how they did the camera this year. But overall, not too much of a difference here. They both still have that nice, really smooth feeling on the edges. And yeah, so you're not gonna find like a massive difference in terms of hardware. There is a temperature sensor on the Pixel 8 Pro now, so you can monitor that for your own self or objects, which is pretty cool. But as far as hardware, they're both IP68 dust and water resistant, and yeah, they pretty much look identical for the most part. Alright, so let's talk about the screen upgrades this year. So the Pixel 8 Pro has two essential upgrades here. It has a flat display, which again might not be an upgrade depending on you. What type of person you are, but that is there. It's easier to put screen protectors on flat displays. I was actually a fan of the curved display, but again, it really depends on the person. But the actual upgrade here is it's just much brighter in direct sunlight. So the Pixel 8 Pro, it goes up to 2400 nits peak brightness, so it is definitely brighter than the Pixel 7 Pro. And direct brightness, the 7 Pro has 1500 nits peak brightness. And that's about it. Honestly, they're both LTPO OLED displays, both 120 Hz, both HDR10+. Now, when you look at the spec sheet, you do have a lower resolution and PPI on the Pixel 8 Pro. So the Pixel 8 Pro is 1344 by 2992, and then it's 489 for the PPI. And then the 7 Pro, it's 1440 by 3120, 512 for the PPI. Honestly, you're not going to see too much of a difference when it comes to the display. I can't tell any actual real difference. I'm not really sure why they did that, but yeah, so it is technically not 1440p anymore, but it is still, right? Because they only dropped it down a little. So I just thought that was bizarre. I wonder why they did that. But as far as the displays, guys, they definitely look identical. The two main things you need to take away here is the Pixel 8 Pro is flat and it's brighter. Alright, so let's actually talk about Android for a second, because this is also another upgrade here. The Pixel 8 Pro will get 7 years of major OS updates, which is very, very impressive. It has the longest updates out of any Android phone, beating out Samsung with their 4-year pledge. So that's pretty impressive. That might be a reason why you want to upgrade, because if you do upgrade, you can keep this phone for a very, very long time. So that's also something to consider. But let's talk about the specs a little bit more here. So you have on the Pixel 8 the Tensor G3 chipset, 128 gigs of internal storage, and then 12 gigs of RAM is on board. And then on the Pixel 7 Pro, you have the Google Tensor G2 chip, and then you also have 128 gigs of internal storage, and this one has 12 gigs of RAM as well. As far as performance, you really will not notice any difference when it comes to performance at all, in my opinion. I didn't notice anything as far as animations go. Yeah, there's really no difference in terms of kind of speed, in my opinion. It's not significant enough for me to really notice, but as you can see, they're pretty much on par with each other when it comes to speed. And even if you are like a casual gamer or something like that, you're not going to notice that too much of a difference anyway. And I'll show you guys the Geekbench scores here, but as you guys can see, if you just kind of get into just a little speed test here, it's really not that big of a difference. Like there are going to be minor differences in the 7 Pro. It's kind of low-key a little bit faster, but yeah, so again, not that big of a difference when it comes to speed. Now, what I will say is this, and this is where the actual difference comes. The Pixel 8 Pro does not get as hot as the Pixel 7 Pro when you are video recording. You guys know I use the Pixel 7 Pro to film all of my YouTube shorts. So every single last short that you see is filmed with the Pixel 7 Pro. If I take it outdoors and it's hot outside, the Pixel 7 Pro, it will flash that little warning, and then the resolution will get hit. And yeah, that's something that I'm pretty sure Google has fixed. Like, it's not hot outside, hot enough for me to record and get that. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. But just playing with both the phones, it definitely does not get as hot. Filming videos and playing games and stuff like that, it's definitely a little bit more efficient in that regard. But as far as just like speed gaming, the Pixel 7 Pro is still pretty fast. And you guys can see the Geekbench scores here. You can see, again, not a massive difference, guys. As you can see, even in the single and the multi-core scores here, it's not a huge difference when it comes to the scores. So again, as far as speed, not a big deal, but as far as like being efficient when it comes to dealing with heat and stuff like that, it is definitely a nice upgrade. All right, so when we get into PUBG here, the Pixel 8 Pro, like I said, it still does a fantastic job. Best settings, HDR Extreme, and it's going to be able to play games. And like I said, I've never had the Pixel 7 Pro crash on me, but again, I'm not like a hardcore gamer. I'm not like playing like super intensive games, and I'm not playing for like a very long time. But I've never had this phone actually crash on me or do anything like that. But yeah, so the Pixel 7 Pro, I think if you're a gamer, you're not going to notice too much of a difference unless you're more of like a hardcore gamer. But if you're somebody, you're coming in here, you're playing PUBG, you're playing Call of Duty, emulator, stuff like that, the Pixel 7 Pro is still really good for that, and it's still like a very fast phone. So yeah, I don't think there's a big difference when it comes to the overall gaming performance. But like I said, if you're a more hardcore gamer, then yes, the Pixel 8 Pro is definitely going to be a nice upgrade as far as like the heat is concerned. Now here's an area where Google did not improve at all, and I'm not sure if it's to save money or something like that, but the fingerprint sensor is not improved at all. So it's not like Samsung's ultrasonic. It's still optical, and you can't do like the fast tap that you can do on like, Samsung phones. Which is fine. It's not like a huge deal, but I would like to see that eventually. They both have Face Unlock, which works really well too. Alright, so I want to talk about the cameras. Now, I want to show you guys these side-by-side stills, and honestly, from looking at the cameras, right, I didn't think it was a massive difference. Where I think Google actually improved a lot, in which nobody's really, I think, talking about, is actually the video zooming. Like the 5x zoom and stuff like that is just much better on the 8 Pro. But besides that, I didn't think the cameras were at all an improvement, really. As far as stills and stuff like that, it really looked the same. It's not a big enough difference to justify upgrading, basically. So let's just go over these specs. On the 8 Pro, you have a 15 megapixel standard. You also have a 48 megapixel telephoto, 5x zoom, and a 48 megapixel ultra wide. It shoots in 4K 60 with a 10.5 megapixel ultra wide. It shoots in 4K 60. There's also a macro mode on the 8 Pro now. So on the 7 Pro, you do have a 50 megapixel standard, 48 megapixel telephoto, 5x optical, a 12 megapixel ultra wide. And I will say that the ultra wide on the Pixel 8 Pro, it takes much better, higher resolution photos. So you get better detail, right? Because you have a 48 megapixel ultra wide on here now. I thought that was a good improvement. Okay, so 4K 60 video on the 7 Pro, and then a 10.8 selfie cam that also shoots in 4K 60. Check out these side-by-side stills. Let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about the battery experience. So this is a pretty big upgrade this year because the Pixel 8 Pro has better standby time and better battery life than the Pixel 7 Pro. There is an upgrade here. So the Pixel 8 Pro has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 30 watt charging, 23 watt wireless, and then the reverse wireless charging. The 7 Pro, 5,000 milliamp hour battery and 23 watt charging. So you do get faster charging speeds on the 8 Pro slightly. It's not, like I said, it's not like a big deal, but it is slightly faster. 23 watt wireless charging, and again reverse wireless charging on the 7 Pro. Battery life is better. That was one thing about the 6 Pro and the 7 Pro, is that the battery life, it was okay. I can't say that the battery life is bad, because it was definitely phones that could do 6 hours of screen on time, but they didn't feel like phones that you could get like a day and a half out of. Even as a light user, you would still kind of have to charge the 6 Pro and the 7 Pro. The Pixel 8 Pro is looking like it has pretty good battery life. So I'm really happy to see that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me know what you guys think. It's kind of an interesting upgrade here. So I'm really curious, is this actually enough? Because they made some pretty cool additions, like I think the 7 years of updates, and also a lot of people like the flat display, the matte finish. There's like these little small things that have really refined the Pixel phone. I think this is one of Google's best flagships to date, actually. It's really well refined. So yeah, what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.